Hey guys, how the hell is everybody? Glockster41 with another post-build review. Tonight we've got the Bronco self-propelled gun SU-152, also known as the KV-14 in 1/35 scale, from Bronco models. That's kit number CB35113. Interesting build. Very, very interesting build. Bronco has some really nice things going for it, and then some really nasty things going for it. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to take a look at the instruction sheets, and let's just jump right in with where we started off constructing this puppy. I think the one thing that drove me the most nuts about this kit was the parts breakdown. Alright, check this out. We've got an A, we've got a B. Okay, A and B, that sounds good. Now, we've got a GA, a GE, a GB, an EB, an M, a KC, an L, an EA, a KA, a CB, a CA, a CD, a D, and a KB, and a G and a J, and a P. So as you can see, the parts breakdown is a nightmare. There are steps where we're pulling parts out of A, D, GA, EA, D. Oh my God. It's like, 6 different tiny little sprues to go through this, guys. Like, come on, give your heads a shake. There's no reason why half this stuff couldn't be put into one big sprue. It really made hunting for parts kind of a pain in the A. And then the sprue numbers and the parts numbers are difficult to see. They're very shallow and really hard to read. Maybe your eyes will be better than mine, but I was having a hell of a time finding parts. It probably added a couple hours to the build just hunting and pecking for friggin' parts. One thing, guys, I'm not going to criticize Bronco for their instruction sheets because they're very nicely done. They're fairly concise. They're not terribly vague. They're nice, clear, white line drawings. So the parts, following the instructions is really quite easy, and it's not that bad. It's a pretty damn good build once you get into the as far as the instruction sheet is concerned. Everything else, the fit, meh. The engineering, it's one of those meh kits. Probably wouldn't want to build another one, but instruction sheet wise, the instruction sheets were pretty good. Now the first 4 steps of the instruction sheet are very straightforward. It's a one-piece tub with a little bit of a rear end you put on. You add a few little bits and pieces that are really somewhat superfluous, but you need them to carry on. Now the big thing, first off, number 4, you get into these torsion bars, CB8. They're very tight. They're extremely tight. In fact, that's probably the tightest fitting part of the entire model. All the other mounting points are very loose and sloppy. So you have to run these torsion bars over into the next side where they're held in. That's your suspension. More on that in the next page. Drive wheel lines up perfectly, nice and tight, lots of room. It works really well. It's a good little construction piece. Now this is where really the wheels fall off of this kit right off the start in step 5. Once you attach your running arms to your road wheels and then attach them to your torsion bars, that's it. There's absolutely nothing limiting where these torsion bars go. They just basically float all over the place. So there are no built-in stops for these torsion arms. Torsion bars run this way, the arms run here, but unfortunately there's no place that the factory shows you where you should have them if you want normal running gear, running selection. I guess you just pick a spot and like, all right, that's what the length of the ground clearance is going to be. There is nothing. You just got to figure it out. And so I just thought, you know what? I'm going to do something totally different. I collapsed all the torsion bars. Completely collapsed them as if the whole thing had burned up. As you can see right underneath here, I've got a little 50 millimeter or maybe even a 75 from a Mark III or a Pack 40 gun penetrated underneath there. We've got a couple hits here, a glancing blow here, and 2 side hits there from the little 50 or even the Pack 40, which just didn't penetrate. And then we got a running through shot here. Now, I really am not going to bother showing you the rest of the instruction sheet because it's very straightforward. Pretty much just follow the instruction sheet, get the upper and lower hull put together, then put all your fiddly bits on. A couple things I do want to address, a couple of things that just absolutely drove me squonky in this thing. Now, these little air intake vents. Most places, you know, it's a single piece. Not Bronco. That vent is 3 pieces. An undersized mesh, an L-shaped top bracket, and then another single piece of photo etch over there. They're incredibly thin, incredibly fragile, and really difficult to get cut out and stay straight. I didn't use a lot of photo etch. I used this photo etch and then a couple of pieces of photo etch on the track holders, and that was it. Honestly, I don't know why Dragon would do something, or why Bronco would do something like that. Do a multi-piece vent. Just leave it done. And I'm also going to leave that open because they do give you a rudimentary engine. I'm going to have that engine popped up with the cover off in a dio is the plan. So anyway, that's that. Instruction sheets are fairly straightforward. Like I said, I made the torsion bars collapsed. They give you really nice brass. Sorry, guys. They give you really nice brass tow cables. You have to just drill them out a bit at the end so that they fit. Like I said, most of the locating points are oversized or undersized. They give you no locating points for the rails around the top or the rails around the back. You just kind of wing it. Now tracks. Tracks actually weren't so bad. Let's take a look at the tracks. Now the tracks are just, you know, with the Soviet tracks, there's the guide horn and a separate thing, so it's basically a 2-link track. It's basically a model cast and track. Each one is separate, linked together with little pins that you're floating through. And the nice thing is that the pins on the screws line right up with the pins on the tracks. So you can just take a length of 5 of them, slide them in, assemble 5, slide them in, put them together, do the other side, light dollop of glue on each end, bang, you've got your tracks. So the tracks are actually quite good. You know, upgrade, that's like a $40–50 upgrade on a kit. You know, much easier to build than those last set of Ming tracks I put on that Panther, that's for sure. So it does come with clear parts, although the clear periscopes are used inside of the hull or the turret. You never see the clear pieces, and it does give you some clear front headlight if that's your pleasure. Let's take a look at the deckle sheet. Pretty basic deckle sheet. Deckles for 2 separate vehicles, some red stars. There's not a lot of marking options for this kit, and basically it's they give you for vehicles in Kursk. Now once it's all finished up, it actually looks pretty good. The level of detail is quite nice. The rolled cast texture on this armor plate that Bronco gives you is really poor. It's just a whole bunch of set little spots where they make it look like a rolled texture. You definitely need to rough it up a bit and then throw some thinned out putty over top of it. I also added some grab handles made out of picture hang of wire because the photo etch ones were just too tiny and too... Okay, now for painting, we've got this one from the 539th Self-Propelled Artillery Regiment in Karlia, June 1944. This one is going into the Russian front summer of 43. And our other one here looks to be the Eastern Front winter of 43, and then again the Eastern Front winter of 43. So I think mine is probably going to be somewhere, I'm thinking Kursk, but you know, the parts breakdown not too shabby.